Hello again, everyone. This is Roktan with another rant, and today I'd like to rant about sports video games. And this is a redo of a rant that I did before, because once again didn't really articulate what I was trying to say, and got a lot of weird comments. I don't remember. I think people were complaining about this is the Madden is what are you talking about? Madden is such a good game, and if you just don't understand these games or something. And I was like, whatever. But the problem I had was that there's hardly any arcade style sports games made anymore, especially now. There are a few out there. There's NBA Jam right now. I don't know how good it is since they redid it. They also actually did there. You can get NFL Blitz on Xbox Arcade, or I think it is also on the PlayStation Network. Here's the problem with that: they removed a really fun little thing that NFL Blitz had, which was the late hits. As I understand it, they removed this. I have no idea why. It's like, so what? It's a little more violent. It's meant to be goofy and a little more crazy. That's the style it had. And basically, the late hits. It wasn't just that you could hit someone late, because that happens a lot. That can happen in any NFL game. Someone gets a late hit. I mean that you could literally pounce on someone way after the play was over, and you could, if you knew, and you could even have several of your players dogpile the guy, which was hilarious to me. I just enjoyed it. Basically, and what was funny is you could keep doing it over and over again. You just the guy's already down after you knock him down after the play's over, and then you proceed to elbow drop him. Stuff like that. And they removed that. It's like, no, don't do that. That was one of the fun parts. NBA Jam had they had a new NBA Jam way back in 2002 or something, and if I remember correctly, they removed the ability to elbow the guy off of you. If it's, oh no, it wasn't elbow that they removed so much. It was they removed the ability to shove someone, which I love. That is, you could you knock some people over. That was fun. But not only that, that was the other problem with that game was they made the AI so ridiculously, insanely difficult, and they added all these new type of slam dunks, which would be cool, but the manual does not tell you how to do these at all. And then you pretty much had to discover this on your own, and I was lucky enough to figure out some of them. But there were at least a couple that I saw the computer doing that I was wondering, well, wait, how do you do that? And some of them, I think, give you a better score. There was some kind of weird score system, new score system with that game with the slam dunks, if I remember correctly. But, yeah, it's how are you supposed to win if the computer can do these ridiculously cool slam dunks that give them a better score and they win all the time? And I was using the best team, which was the Lakers, not surprisingly, and I was still getting my butt handed to me on a regular. And I just, after a certain point, I couldn't get past the computer because the computer was a cheap son of a, was really frustrating. But yeah, in general, there's not enough arcadey style sports games anymore. It seems like everything's going for sim, everything's going for realism. That tends to be games in general, like AAA games go for this realistic, gritty approach to everything, and it's like it gets old. It's boring. It's like it was cool at first, but then well now everyone's jumped at the bandwagon and it's like do something different. And I think the other problem, something I sort of mentioned but didn't really articulate, is sim sports games do a horrible job of introducing you to how to play the game, or telling you how to play, introducing the player in, because sim sports games are complicated and take time to learn all the different things you need to do. There's like I remember playing a basketball game years ago, and there were so many different little moves that you could do with that were like mapped to like the control stick, that it was ridiculous how many different things you could do with it, and it was like, this is too much info. Just honestly think they need a mode that introduces you to concepts one at a time until you get used to it, and like have a mode where everything's more basics. Just shoot the hoop and defend, and have like and defend and have that simple. Or football, tackle and pass and catch, or just keep things simple and introduce mechanics slowly to the player till they get used to them. What really bothers me is like about these games is they have like franchise modes to help, where you're literally where you manage a basketball franchise or NFL franchise. You manage a team, and they give you no help at all on how to do this. None. You're literally just supposed to know how to do this. How is just your average person who has never played, is playing a sim sports against the first time, supposed to do this? I'd really like to know, like, how are people able to jump into these games and pick them up so quickly? Unless you've been playing the previous titles beforehand, you have no idea what you're doing. And that's what happened to me with that NBA game. It's stupid. Get people. You need to bring people into the game if you want people to play it. If you want people to be able to play your game, you need to introduce mechanics to them slowly. Let them digest them and learn how to play it. Or it's too much information to take in at once, and people just like, screw this, I'm done. That's why, like, when games like Wii Sports sold so well, because it was so simple, and yet it used a very simple control scheme with the Wii remote. Bowling, and all of them were very simple stuff. Bowling doesn't take much of. It's complex while not at the same time. Because you can throw with any style you want. You don't have to be a professional. You can just be doing it for fun, and that's every game on there was like, they kept it simple, And I'm not saying you can't have complex stuff. Just introduce stuff slowly to the player instead of throwing it all at them at once and expecting them to know how to play. I know I'm kind of repeating myself, but it really needs to be said. Another problem that I may or may have not mentioned is sports games are just milking their franchises or their game. The people that make the sports games, Electronic Arts, aka EA mostly, are just doing they're putting out a title year after year after year that's with minimal updated features at best. They're basically glorified roster updates, which you could just do with like downloadable content now. You could just download the latest rosters. They really need to stop doing yearly releases, because what ends up happening is they're rushing these games out and they're not done. They're buggy, they're incomplete, they're missing features that they promised. Like, the last Madden title was supposed to have really good fan graphics for the graphics and the graphics of the fans watching the game, in the stadium, was supposed to be really improved. Actually, no, that's not what it was. It was adding animations and stuff for the players on the sideline, and making it so like the players move out of the way when players run towards them, or adding animations for people who get injured. Lies. Flat out lie. They lied, straight up lied, because those were not there. Either that, or they just rushed the game out and they didn't have time to put them in. So it was ridiculous. And there was a guy on YouTube who proceeded to show videos from a game that came out that for like All Pro 2K football 2008, something like, I think it was a 2K game from 2008. That's about 6 years ago. That has interactive sidelines, that has way better injury animations that show you, that actually show the player getting hurt and still finish the play. Like you see the injury happen. You can actually see the injury start to happen before they even fall down. Like the Madden, there was no indication that the player was injured until after the play was over, and they've done this for years. All Pro had this. You could actually see the player go, my leg, and fall down. And Madden, for years they've had it where just you don't even see it happen, see they're injured until after the play is like, and suddenly after the play you see them walking off limping or whatever. It's, yeah, a game 6 years ago is outdoing Madden now. That's just sad. They're clearly rushing their games out. I mean, the new EA MMA game, there's clips on YouTube, find it, of the game being so glitchy that the fighters are literally flipping around every which way. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is EA's first MMA game, and they still rush it? You had all the time in the world. This was your first game.